Resident Evil 9 has officially become one of the fastest selling games in the entire franchise, hitting over 6 million copies sold in just 17 days. And honestly, it deserves it. I've completed the game myself, and I can confidently say this is one of the best Resident Evil titles we've ever had. The atmosphere, the story, the characters, everything just works. And now, Capcom has officially confirmed that a story expansion for Resident Evil 9 is already in development. But here's where things get really interesting. There are multiple rumors suggesting that this DLC will be heavily focused on Leon S. Kennedy. And not just that, we might finally get answers about his personal life, including the mystery surrounding his possible wife. So today we're breaking down everything: Chris Redfield's role, Leon's future, Ada Wong, and what this DLC could really be about. Let's get into it. First, we need to talk about Chris Redfield because he plays a much bigger role than it seems at first. If you've already finished the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. At the end, we see Leon and Grace getting rescued. We hear about Chris throughout the game, but we never actually see him on screen. His team extracts them and then just disappears. So the big question is, where is Chris? The answer is actually pretty interesting. Chris has been operating in the background during the entire story of Resident Evil 9. This isn't the first time Capcom has done something like this either. If you remember Resident Evil 7, Chris also had a hidden role that was later expanded in the Not a Hero DLC. So there's a strong chance we're seeing the same setup here. It's very likely that Chris and his team were dealing with a completely separate operation behind the scenes, possibly involving bio, terrorist groups trying to gain control over what's left of Umbrella's assets. And if that's true, then it means Chris is still actively trying to shut down Umbrella once and for all. This opens the door for the DLC to explore that side of the story. Imagine a scenario where we actually see Chris and Leon working together again, this time taking the fight directly to what remains of Umbrella or any organization trying to replace it. That alone would make for an incredible expansion. Now let's talk about Ada Wong, because things get even more interesting here. The last time we properly saw Ada was in Resident Evil 6, and of course, in the Resident Evil 4 remake. But in Resident Evil 9, she's completely absent, or is she? Because the game actually includes subtle references to Ada. One of the most interesting details is a keychain you can find which looks exactly like the one Ada gave to Leon back in Resident Evil 4 remake. That's not a coincidence. Capcom doesn't just add details like that for no reason. It's clearly meant to hint at something bigger. And then there's the biggest mystery of all, the wedding ring. Yes! Leon is shown wearing a wedding ring in Resident Evil 9, but the game never tells us who he's married to. And this has sparked a lot of debate in the community. Some people believe it's Ada Wong, others think it could be Claire Redfield, and some even think it might be someone completely new. Personally, I think Capcom is intentionally keeping this a secret so they can reveal it in the DLC. If the expansion really is focused on Leon, then this would be the perfect opportunity to finally answer that question and give us more depth to his character. Now, let's talk about what this DLC could actually be about. According to Insider Dust Golem, this expansion is supposed to help bridge the gap between Resident Evil 9 and upcoming remakes, including Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0. If that's true, then this DLC is going to be very important for the future of the franchise. It might not just be a side story. It could actually set up the next phase of Resident Evil. We could see Leon going through a major transformation. Instead of the confident hero we've known for years, he might start becoming more cynical, more distant, someone who's been through too much and is starting to change. And honestly, that kind of character development would be amazing to see. Now, the big question is, when can we expect this DLC? Well, the director, Koshi Nakanishi, has already said that it's going to take some time. And if you followed Capcom before, you know what that usually means. It's not coming anytime soon. So don't expect it next month or anything like that. A more realistic window would probably be around August or September. And that actually makes sense. There's already a mini game scheduled to release in May 2026. So Capcom will likely let players enjoy that first and then drop the story expansion a few months later. As for the price, it'll probably be somewhere between $28 and $38, which is pretty standard for Resident Evil DLC. And if the content is as big and story driven as it sounds, it'll definitely be worth it. So yeah, that's everything we know so far. Resident Evil 9 is already a massive success, and with this upcoming DLC, things are only gonna get bigger. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think this DLC will be about? Do you think Leon is married to Ada Claire or someone else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more updates like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.